repeat something either like this, initialized with lowest value and continue, and the modification will be increase in value, or we can do it like this also. Suppose I want to repeat this n times, so I will initialize with the maximum value and then I will stop before 0. See, here I am initialized with 0 until it becomes n. So how many times I am repeating? I am repeating its n time. I am repeating it n times. So the last value of I will be n minus 1. So when I will stop? When I becomes equal to 1, sorry, equal to n, then I will stop. This is the stopping criteria. So what is the last value of I? It is n minus 1. Okay. Similarly, I can do it with maximum value or highest value also. So I have initialized I with n. I have initialized with n. Okay. Then I will repeat it. And when I will stop, the last value of I that I will stop is 1. When I become 0, I will stop. And since I have initialized with highest value, each and every time the modification will be minus minus. So you can do it either this or this. Either you have to go for modification like I plus plus, or you have to go for modification like minus minus. So it depends on you. But normally or generally we use or we start with minimum value and go for up to the maximum value. But see, in some cases we can change it. So if I say the definition of factorial n is like this, n into n minus 1 into dot 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 up to 1, then what is the initialized value of n? Means initialization value of I is n, then it is going to decrease. So for factorial, what I will do? I will start with n, and what is the last value of I? It is 1. So I can write it like this, or I can write it like this. Am I clear? I have already told you, you can go up to 1 or greater than 0. Both are same. And then since with each iteration the value of I is decreasing, so I will write it I minus minus. And then since it is a repetition, or you can see it is a combination of multiplication, and then the result will be multiplied again, then the result will be multiplied again. So what I am repeating? I am repeating the multiplication. With whom? With the previous value. So I have to first multiply this n with some initialized value, that is 1. So that is your initialization of multiplication. Initialization of multiplication. Similarly, suppose you want to perform an operation like this, n, then n plus 1. So instead of into, it is plus sum of n numbers. Then first plus of n, this one will be with a variable which is initialized with 0. So this is addition initialization. This is multiplication initialization. This is called multiplication initialization. When you are repeating multiplication again and again, you should initialize one variable with 1. If you are repeating the summation again and again, then you have to initialize your variable with 0. Okay? So in this case, since it is multiplication, so I will initialize one variable, say f with 1. Then the first I see how I am performing this multiplication. First this n into 1, then this result will be multiplied to n in n minus 1. Then this result will be multiplied to n minus 2. Okay. So I will write it. So I have to store the result. So I will write it like this: f equal to f into I. Why I am writing it like this? Because see, my f is initialized with 1. My first multiplication of n is with whom? My first multiplication n is with 1. So actually I am performing the multiplication like this: f into n, correct? Then this result is in the next iteration multiplied with n minus 1. So I have to store this result. So I am storing the result in f. So that's why I am writing it like this. If it is a summation, repetition of summation, then I will write it like this: s, the first addition will be performed with 0. S is initialized with 0. So s plus I. Then this summation will be stored into s. So I will write it like this: s equal to s plus I. If it is a multiplication, then I will write it f equal to f into I. If multiplication, then f or initialization will be 1. If it is a summation, then initialization will be 0. You have to remember this things when you are performing the repetitive thing or repetitive structure. Okay. Now some tricky things. Okay. Before that, just try to understand how this loop is executing, or any for loop or any other loop. Suppose the initialization is 0 and I less than say 6, I plus plus, then this repetition. Okay. So this is for your dry run. So in your exam or in your when you are not able to run your program directly, then you have to perform the dry run. Means whether your loop or your program is correct or not. So how you are do your dry run? So first you have to write the initialization. So I equal to 0 is the initialization. Then this is the first statement. Then it will go for condition checking. I less than 6. It is true. Then it will go for repetition. Correct? Then it will go for modification. So after modification, I plus plus, I becomes 1. Then again it will go for condition. I less than 6. Yes, satisfying. So it will go for repetition. Then modification. Again check the condition. Satisfying. I less than 6. Again repetition. Then modification. Satisfying. Repetition. Modification. Satisfying. Repetition. Modification. Satisfying. Repetition. Modification. Now not satisfying, it will come out from the for loop. So for this value it is not repeating, so it is repeating for these values. So inside this, if I print the variable I, what will be the output? For this you have to do it like this. This is called dry run. Suppose instead of printing, suppose instead of this print statement, if I perform f equal to f into I, then you have to print the multiplication result. But if I say, if I print the variable I, then what should be the output? Then you have to perform this type of dry run. So remember how this loop is executing, how it is moving from one statement to another statement, how it is jumping from condition to modification. So these things you have to remember. This is very important. Okay. Now some tricky things. Suppose I am writing a for loop like this. For I less than n, I equal to 0, I plus plus. Suppose this is my for loop. Then just tell me, is it compilation error or runtime error, or it is correct? Just tell me. Is it a compilation error? Means the syntax is wrong. Compilation means there is syntactical error, so it is wrong. Or it is a runtime. At runtime it will give me error. Or it is perfectly okay. What is your choice? Please.
Compilation error.
Okay. Compilation error. Any other?
Runtime error.
Okay. Runtime error. I've got compilation error, then runtime error. Any other answer? Now, means runtime error means it will give me.
So correct.
Okay, someone say that this is correct. Now remember this runtime error means when I am running the program, my compiler or my means execution is somehow stopped. That is called runtime error. Remember this. Compilation error means when I am compiling, it will show me at this statement there is error. If it is runtime error, it will run, but it will stop abruptly. Okay, and there is another concept which is called logical error. I hope you can understand the three things. There is another concept which is called logical error. Logical error means you have written something logically incorrect. That's why you are not getting exact output. Okay, so if I put another thing here, that it is logical error, will anybody go with this also? Please just try to understand what is the meaning of compilation error. Compilation error means when I am compiling it, my compiler will show that in this statement there is something wrong. Your syntax is wrong. Runtime error means it will start running, it will take input, then suddenly it stops. Okay? Correct means it will give me the correct answer. And there is another thing which is called logical error. Logical error means there is some error in your logic. It means you are writing, your program is running perfectly okay, but you are not getting exact output. That is called logical error. Will anybody go with this logical error? Okay, no. Okay, so first thing, just try to remember this, not remember, just try to make it fixed that this position, this first semicolon position is always for initialization. The second position is always for condition. It is in the syntax. And the third part is for modification. If you write anything in this position, ultimately compiler will consider that thing as the order of syntax. If the syntax say this is initialization, whatever you write, suppose instead of I less than n, if I write here I plus plus, this will be considered as initialization. So just make it fixed that the position is very important where you are writing your statement. That is very important. This position is for initialization, this position is for condition, and this position is for modification. So it will not show you any compilation error because there is no compilation error. But suppose you missed the semicolon, you forget to write the semicolon here, then it will give you compilation errors.
So this
Next,
will be logical error.
correct. It should be logical error. Now see, it is not runtime error because syntactically it is correct. Now the question is whether it is correct or logical. Now these two things are similar. Na? Correct means with respect to my means programming writing. Whether my programming writing is correct or not is correct. But logically it will not give you exact output that you are expecting. Suppose you are expecting that there is a printf statement, which will print a star, and you want to print it 6 times. But it will not, it maybe give other outputs. It will not give you the exact 6 star, it will give you other outputs. So you can say it is logical error. Now the question is, if I write this type of things, can I guess what should be the output? Just try to understand. Suppose I am writing it like this: for I equal to 1, I equal to 0, I plus plus. Then inside the for loop, I am printing printf hello. Then I am printing outside the for loop, I am printing world. What is the output? What do you think? What should be the output for this?
So world.
So logical errors.
Logical error, correct? So it will print world. Why? Why it will print world?
Sir, because sir, that
Because
loop will not run.
first
Okay. Please tell me your name.
Sir.
Miss.
Sir, Abhirup Ghoshal.
Okay. Overlook, you are correct. Now, I hope you know the logic why it is printing world, but just I am going to explain it. So first statement that will be executed is this one, correct? Now, Abhirup, try to see whether you are correct or not. So the first thing that the compiler will execute this one. So I is initialized with 1. Then the next thing is it will move into condition checking. In condition checking, again I am initializing I with 0. So now what is the final value of I? It is 0. So here the value of I is itself 0 value. 0 value means, I have already told you, 0 value means false. Means the condition is not satisfying. So it will come out from the for loop and it will print the statement world. Now, if I print here another thing, %d, I, then what is the output? It will print world, yes. Then it will print the value of I. Now, what is the value of I? Value of I is 0. So it will print world 0.
0.
Logic clear? Now next, these are very interesting. For suppose I equal to 1, then I equal to 0, I plus plus, I plus plus. Okay, printing say hello. And outside this, printing world. Okay, let's, instead of hello, let's this one value of I. This will be more interesting. Value of I. Now, what is the output? Please, other students, not Oviru.
World.
One world.
Only
Okay,
one.
one world. Okay, now Oviru, you can answer. What is the output?
The world.
Hmm.
So will it be
Sir,
infinite?
sir, it will.
So I think infinite, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. It will go on.
Who say infinite?
Sorry.
What is your name? Infinite? Who told infinite?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Riya Mashal.
okay. So someone say this will print world. Someone say it is infinite loop. Let's check. So
So
again,
first
here,
it will run infinite loop and then it will no infinite loop, sir.
okay, just check. So the first, this one is initialization. This will execute it first. So I is initialized with 0. Then it will move into second statement, the condition. What is written in the condition? In the condition, it is written I plus plus. Now this is post increment, na? This is post increment. What is the logic of post increment? The logic of post increment is the value of I is still the previous value, and this plus plus will be executed after it is going from the statement. After the end of the statement, this plus plus will be executed. If you remember, b equal to I plus plus means the value of I will be initialized first, then I will be modified. So what is the value of I here that will be considered? The value of I that will be considered is 0. Now 0 means false.
False.
So it will come out from the loop. So it will only print a single word. It is not an infinite loop. But if I write instead this, go for this one. So for I equal to 0 plus plus I plus plus I, then inside this printf the value of I. Now tell me, what is the output?
So it will be infinite.
What is the output? Infinite, correct. But what is the output?
So from 1 to infinite.
Oh, madam. See, this is the initialization. Okay, so I is 0. Just try the dry run. Then it will move into this pre-increment. So I will be modified to 1. Now value of I that will be considered as condition is 1. 1 is non-zero value, true. So it will go for printing. So it will print 1. Then it will go for modification. Now it becomes 2. Then it will go for condition. Again plus plus. So it becomes 3. 3. Now the value of I considered as condition is 3. Non-zero value, true. So next value it will print 3. Then 5. Then 7. In this way it becomes infinite. Okay. 2 plus plus, na? 2
Yes.
increment operations. So it means value of I will be increased twice. That's why it is printing first one, then the odd numbers. Okay. So whenever you are changing the position, but still compiler will execute it as the syntax of the for loop. First initialization, then go for condition checking. And remember, I have already shown you that condition means it will check whether, means condition means if this type of condition if this type of condition is coming, it will be sent to the ALU, arithmetic logic unit, because you have to compare, and ultimately ALU will repeat or return either 0 or 1. Am I clear? So this type of condition thing, comparison thing, will be done by the ALU, and ultimately what ALU will give, will give you whether it is true or false, 0 or 1. Now since this is not a comparison, but since you have to check the condition, so the value of I itself will be taken as the condition. So the value of I, if it is non-zero, then it is true. If it is 0, it is false. So according to that, you have to repeat or you have to stop your for loop. Okay. Now there is one very interesting thing that we sometimes do in our coding, and then we call our teacher that, sir, it is not running. So the thing is like this. Suppose a simple for loop for n times repetition for printing the star, and one intelligent student have used one semicolon here. That is a common mistake, because from the starting of the day we say end of the statement in case of C is represented using semicolon. So since this is the end of the for loop, so he will add one semicolon, and after this what he will say, sir, only one star is printing. Why only one star is printing? Because this type of semicolon, remember this type of semicolon, whether you are using it after the if statement or after the for statement, this type of semicolon is called null statement, are called null statement semicolon. It means inside this for loop, no statement is there, only initialization, condition, and modification, no statements, that is null statement. So it means what will happen, suppose the value of n is 3, so first initialization, condition checking, then since null statement it will go to modification, then from modification condition checking, modification, then from modification condition checking, modification, then condition checking not satisfying, so it will come out from the for loop, what is there in the bracket, only a single star, it will print the single star. So if you add a semicolon here, it stands, it is a null statement for loop. Remember this. It means there is no repetitive statements, only the required thing for a loop condition, that is initialization, condition, and modification is written. No other repetitive statement has been added. Okay. So don't make or use this type of semicolon. Similar case may happen in case of if. Don't use semicolon. Okay. Now we are coming back to the operation, the repetition of star in row and column wise. So suppose I want to print picture like this. I want to print a picture like this. Okay. Simple. So here the logic is this thing make fixed that first you have to print the first row. That is your first goal. First print the first row. How to print the first row? So how to print the first row? If I print the first row, it will be like this. For I equal to 0. How many times I am repeating? I am repeating 4 times. So I less than 4, then I plus plus. Okay, after the end of the first row, there is one invisible new line character. So remember that also. So after repeating it, the 4 times the star, I will add one new line, a single new line. Okay. Now see, this thing is repeated 3 times. So one nested for loop, this is the outside for loop, which will repeat this thing. So this is a simple statement. This is a simple statement, which I am repeating 3 times. So I will write it like this. Like this. Okay? Like this. Now see, here I have used I as a counter. Here I have used J as a counter. Why I am not repeating? Because they have different control. I is controlling it column wise and this J is controlling it row wise. That's why I am using different variables. Okay, see how this is executed, how these repetitive things are executed. So first it will execute this one, first statement. So J is initialized with 0. Then it will go for checking the condition. Yes, satisfying. So it will move into this part. Inside this, I will be initialized with 0 first. Then it will go for condition, satisfying. So it will go for printing. So it will print 1 star. Then it will go for I++. Now I becomes 1. Then it will go for condition checking, satisfying. Again it will go for print. Then again it will go for modification, satisfying. Again print. Then again it will go for modification. I is now 3. Again satisfying. So go for printing, repetition. Then I++. Now I becomes 4. Not satisfying. So it will come out from the for loop and go for print the new line. So new line means cursor will move into this position. Then after the end of this, it will go for J++. Now J becomes 1. Now satisfying. So again it will go inside. Again this same thing will be repeated. Means again I initialize with 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and it will continue for printing the stars. And then when it is not satisfying, it will come out from the for loop, go for print new line, cursor will move here, and then go for J++. Again this one satisfying. So again it will move into this. Again it will initialize I with 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, repetition. Not satisfying for this. So start print. Okay, not satisfying. It will go for outside. It will go outside the for loop. Print the new line. Cursor will bring here. Then J++. Now this one is not satisfying. This for loop will exit. Okay. Now if I do this like this, first line 4 star, then 3 star, then 2 star, then 1 star. Okay. So for this type of picture, what you have to do, again, first you have to print the first row first. Then with the increase of row, star is decreasing. With one increase of row, 1 star is decreasing. So how we will write it? You will first print the first row. So for I equal to 0, I less than how many star? 4. So I less than 4, I plus plus, inside this printf star. Okay, then after the end of this first row, there is one invisible new line. So printf new line. Okay, then you have to repeat this. How many times you have to repeat this? You have to repeat this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So one outside for loop to repeat these things. J equal to 0, J less than 4, J plus plus. Okay, if you write your code like this, it will print first 4 star, then again 4 star, then again 4 star, but you need decrease in star means decrease in column value with the increase of row value. Just try to understand the relation. Decrease in column value. So you have to modify here. Clear? Because you have to decrease in column value with the increase of row value. Which one giving row value? J. So with the increase of J, you have to decrease the I. So since it is decreasing, so obviously minus operation. How it is subtracting? It is subtracting with the increase of row. Which one representing row? J. So just you have to write here 4 less than J. Am I clear? 4 less than J, sorry, 4 minus J, not less than, 4 minus J. Why I am writing 4 minus J? Because with the increase of J, star is decreasing. Decreasing means you have to perform minus operation. If it is increasing, then you have to go for plus operation. Now see how this will be executed, how the dry run will be executed. First, J equal to 0, satisfying. Move into I equal to 0. And what is the value of this? 4 minus 0 is 4. So it will repeat for 1, 2, 3. Then when 4, it will come out and print a new line. Okay. So 4 star, first line, the new line. Then J plus plus, J becomes 1. Again, I start with 0. And this variable 4 minus J means now becomes 3. So it will go for 1, 2, 3, stop. In 3, it will stop. So how many times it prints? 3 times, 3 times. Then again J plus plus, J becomes 2. So now 4 minus 2 becomes 2. So again I will start with 0, then 1 and 2, it will stop. How many times it repeats? 2 times. And then again J plus plus, J becomes 1, sorry, J becomes 3, and this becomes 1. So it will 0 and 1, only one time it will print. Then again J plus plus, J becomes 4. Now it is not satisfying, it will come out. So now you will get the desired result, desired output. So in case of nested for loop, if there is some relation between your row and column, then you have to understand first what is the relation. Is it a increasing order or decreasing order? Is it depends on row or depends on column? According to that, you have to modify your for loop. But just remember the first thing, that you have to print the first row and then modify your program or code with the next steps. Okay, I will discuss about this start